let's dive right into it. Today we are talking about, do inmates and corrections officers hook up? Short answer.
Yes.
You ready? Cool.
Yep.
I'll do the intro.
Okay.
Welcome to Time Served with me, Michael Bryant.
And me, Raquel Bryant.
Yep. I'm a former inmate. I almost said corrections officer. You're the former corrections officer.
I'm the former corrections
You're the former
officer.
corrections officer. I'm the former inmate.
Yep.
I did 7 years in prison, and you worked for the prisons?
For about almost 3.
For about 3 years. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Today we are talking about, do inmates and corrections officers hook up? Short answer.
Yes.
It does happen.
Yes.
Okay. Is it a common thing? Is it a rare thing? Is it...
It's more on the rarer side than what people think.
Yeah. I think based on the comments, people think it's happening like all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like it's just a big old sex party up in there.
Definitely. That's what they make it seem like, but it's really not.
Yeah, that's not the case.
No.
It is... in my 7 years in prison, I saw it happen a couple of times. It definitely happened.
Like you saw it?
No, I didn't like see it.
Oh.
Like they weren't like doing it in front of people. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know, we were on the yard, and in prison there's no secrets.
Right.
Everybody knows everything. Prison's
Right.
like a bunch of drama queens who just run around talking about each other. The guards are the same way. The inmates are the same way. So there's not really any secrets, but it does happen. So on this episode, we are going to talk about inmates, corrections officers hooking up, how it happens, where it happens, when it happens, why it happens, what happens when it happens. And let's get right into it. Oh, we have some new lights. Pan to me, Matt. Blue light, pan to wifey.
Pink light.
Yeah, speak up.
Oh, disclaimer. I have COVID and I'm recovering from it, so my voice is not exactly all the way back yet. So
Yes.
if it
And-
sounds a little off, that's why.
And Matt, the producer, his wife, Megan. Hello, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Is Megan still watching all the episodes, Matt? She is. Okay, Matt says yes, she is.
Shout out to Megan.
Shout out Megan. Megan also has COVID, so if you guys are wondering, like, oh my God, they trapped their poor producer in that room with them while she has COVID. Matt's wife has COVID, and most likely that's where it came from. It's your fault, Megan. Anyways, alrighty. So inmates, corrections officers, it does happen. Like I said, I saw it a few times while I was in prison, and I think, you know, from my point of view, it usually happened with the inmates slowly, you know, trying to just keep making small advances and then, you know, look for a chink in the armor. Some female COs would go for it. Some would not. And you have to be really careful, because if you say the wrong thing to a corrections officer, you'll get a major ticket. They can write you up, put you in the hole, take away visitation, take away commissary. And, yeah, it's you do risk a lot.
Yep.
So you guys probably had to get special training on it, I imagine.
Yep.
What was that like?
We did. So in the academy, it's it's 8 weeks. And they pretty much just cram as much as they can in that 8 weeks. But obviously that's one of the most important things to learn, or that they want to teach. So it is a whole week long where they teach us about officers that get compromised, how to prevent it, how to, the signs of a compromised officer, what to do if you...
What are the signs of a compromised officer?
Oh, okay, let me see.
Walk around in, like, shame?
So they isolate themselves.
They teach you guys like the psychology of how to identify it.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Changes in their appearance, if for like females, especially if they start wearing more makeup to work, it's sometimes a sign that something's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are just things that they told us in the training. They also give us like testimonial videos. They make us watch those of other officers who were compromised, and they're actually like literally in prison in their testimonial videos. No way.
So like female COs that hooked up with inmates, got caught, went to jail, and then shot a video like, don't do this.
Yep.
Don't be like me.
One was a female.
That's pretty powerful.
And then one was a male. The male was like out in the open, like, hey, this is what happened. yada yada.
Yeah.
The female, she was like the shadow. They made the shadow
they
around
didn't show her face.
No.
Yeah, they did.
And they did like the voice changing thing.
Yeah.
And hers was really emotional. Like she cried pretty much the whole time. She like, it was a real tearjerker watching hers.
I think people forget that it happens a lot with the men who work inside the women's prison, and I imagine that it probably happens at a higher rate.
I was going to say that. Yes, they're actually more worried about the male officers that go to the female prisons.
Yeah.
Because it actually does. It happens a lot more there than.
Because dudes are easy to trick.
Yeah.
Like a dude that hasn't gotten laid in a while is like, you know what I mean? Like men are dumb. Like they think,
they're easy to trick just in general. But
Right, yeah,
being an officer and then being surrounded by women who have no other men around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just
it's easy prey,
plotting.
I guess.
That's crazy. I would not want to be a male officer. I would not do that. I'm cool. Like if I went and wanted to be a corrections officer and they put me on a female unit, no thanks.
Yeah, I went to the academy with a few men who were there. That was going to be their facility they were going to work at, was the women's prison. And one of them, he was like this skinny little white boy. And when we went for the on-the-job training, and then we all came back the next week and, you know, shared our experiences, he said that the females were harassing him.
That's crazy.
They gave him a nickname. They called him Woody.
like from Toy Story?
Yeah. And they were making jokes, something about his boots and something like that.
The women are probably less subtle, right? Like the men are like subtle,
Right.
and like it'll be like over like months and months and months,
Right.
trying to, you know, find a way in. Whereas like the women are probably just like you walk past their cell and their towel drops to the ankles or
Yep.
something like that. Like that would, you know what I mean?
Yeah, one of my advisors was actually, he was a CO from the women's prison, and he told us stories about that. He said it's hard, it's tricky. They try to get you
Yeah.
any way they can.
You guys got to be a solid man of God, faith, strong, discipline, strong. You know what I mean? I imagine a lot of those chicks, you know, are like coming off of, you know, dope and probably, I mean, but then again, there probably is a bunch of like cute chicks in there. I don't know.
Well, you have to remember too that, they're coming off of whatever substances they use.
Right.
They're sober. They're trying to get their life together in prison, you know, anyways. There's
the best they can.
Yeah. And they do. Their appearance starts coming back to normal. So
Well, that's the same in the men's prison, right? Like we're generally in our peak physical condition while we are in prison.
Right.
Yeah, like in prison, I was in the best shape of my life. I was working out every day. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I didn't party. You know, I don't do any of those things now either, but I just don't work out as much as I did when I was in prison. In prison, I worked out all the day, all day long. Pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, just all day long. That's all I had to do was pretty much read books, work out, and go to my little telemarketing job. So, well, I guess that kind of covers how it happens. The men are, you know, I've seen so many dudes try to pick up female COs. It's very common. The men.
Oh yeah.
The men probably.
Super common.
It every day in the men's prison they're trying.
Yep.
They'll write notes or they will, you know, just like make little comments and try to like talk to the females. That sucks too, to be a female CO and have to deal with that.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, all day long.
Let me tell you, it is a nightmare.
Yeah, everywhere
Not only
you go.
do you have the inmates, but you have the COs also hitting on you. You've got, all eyes on you because you're a female officer
Right.
in a male's prison.
Yeah,
so-
you're under a lot more scrutiny.
Yeah, for sure. So you have to be, pardon my French, but you have to be a bitch.
Yeah.
You really have to be. Otherwise, it can be misconstrued. So
Yeah.
that's how it is.
Yeah, no, you were a total jerk when I was in prison.
Oh,
You were-
absolutely.
you were super
Yeah.
mean. But, all right, so when it does happen, once again, for people who don't know, prison, like you guys might watch a lot of the videos and they talk about how, you know, tough everybody is in there, and that's not the reality. I've been on high-level yards with dudes doing life sentences. Prison's like high school. When one person knows something, everybody knows it. There is no secrets in there. It is ridiculous. So, like, if something like that does happen, everybody finds out immediately. And then there's snitches everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They just drop kites. What they do, at least in Arizona prisons, all of our prisons have mailboxes on the yard.
Yep.
And these guys will just write a little note.
Yep.
They're like, oh, Joe is doing this. I don't like Joe. And then they go and drop it in the mailbox, and then the cops get it. And that's why they used to watch on some yards back in the day. They used to you couldn't go to the mailbox
Alone, right?
alone. You had to give I think the Mexicans had to give all of their mail to like somebody in their race.
Really?
Yeah, they had to give it to somebody in their
Oh.
race, and then they would go drop it in the box. And the white boys and everybody kind of did it like that way back in the day because it was so common for people just to write out long, detailed
Yeah.
snitch lists.
I can confirm that is.
Yeah, because you were a
accurate.
mail and property officer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was the one who went and checked the mailbox every morning.
Yeah, and hundreds of letters go out every
Yep.
day. So did you have to look at every letter?
We had to read 20% of what was going out.
Okay.
So, you take a handful. You just pick randomly. SSU has their own list that they would give me, and they would tell me, don't read these. Just put them aside. I'll come for them. And then they would come.
So SSU is the detectives. They're
Yes.
If you look at corrections officers as cops, SSU are detectives.
Yep.
They are the ones that are investigating gangs. They're the ones that are investigating narcotics. They're investigating anything, any type of criminal enterprise that is occurring in prison.
Yep. And, so we would have to read about, a few letters every morning before taking the mail out. And there were special letters from special names. If the letter, the envelope had the name on there, we knew, this is one of the snitches. It goes directly
Were
to
they like
SSU.
fake names?
Yeah.
Like Betty Boop I guess like a
One
dude's
was
name.
like Mr. Clean.
Stupid. Just a big bold white guy who looks like Mr. Clean on the yard too.
That's what they would do. They would write their little fake names on there, and then I knew right away. Okay, this is somebody snitching.
That sounds like an all-day job because of the amount of letters that go out every single day.
Yeah.
Like I would write 2 or 3 letters a week, just
Man,
me.
I had read the craziest stuff. I opened letters before and stuff like fell out and
Like what?
the little pictures you guys get and put the plastic over them.
Porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say that on
You
YouTube.
can say porn. I think
Okay.
that's not like one of the banned words. We can say porn.
Well, it was porn going out, and I'm just
Why would they
like,
send porn out?
Oh my god, like really? now,
Yeah.
now I gotta go wash my hands. I gotta
Ew.
I actually did it with gloves anyways, though. But still,
Yeah.
it's gross.
Yeah, that's super gross.
Freaking disgusting.
Yeah. Porn's a big thing in prison. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah, it's
You guys would laminate them?
Don't say you guys.
Well, you inmates.
Yeah.
You inmates would laminate.
Yeah, people would
them, right?
laminate them and then slap them to the wall in the shower. That's how porn works in
Are
the shower.
you serious?
Yeah, that's why they're laminated, so they don't get wet.
Oh.
So they don't get. Yeah, they're waterproof. You tear them out of magazines and then slap it on the wall in the shower.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
I always wondered. I thought
Yeah.
it
So
was like
also
they
for
wouldn't,
everybody who
wrinkle.
doesn't know, in my 7 years in prison, like in the movies, it's always dorm showers where there's like 20 dudes in the same shower. That's not how prison.
That's not.
Yeah. There's no. I've never seen showers like that in any Arizona prison that I've ever been to. It's usually you have your. Not you don't have your own shower, but every yard has like 20 showers, and each shower is an individual shower. So like you're just in the shower by yourself.
Yeah.
The only time that I ever saw showers where like other people could see you was in county jail, and those showers were like up on the tier, and there was 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, and they were kind of out in the open. So like you could just be sitting in the day room and you could see clearly into the showers. But in prison, it's not like that. Prison, the showers are separate. They're always one-man showers. There's no like big dorm showers like the movies.
Except for like SSU, or not SSU,
SMU.
SMU.
Yeah,
when-
those showers are different. They bring those showers like to your door.
Yeah, and the guard has to watch you while you shower.
I don't know how. I've never been to SMU. So
have
SMU
to,
is
yeah.
Supermax unit. I've never been there. I don't know how. I've just heard that the showers roll and they'll take it from one door to the next door to the next door, and you just shower kind of like right outside your cell or almost in your cell. I don't know how it works.
It's like right outside.
Yeah.
I've never been, but from what they told us in the academy and
Yeah.
like trained us on it.
Everybody who's been to SMU has crazy SMU stories. So that's how you hear about all of this stuff later on.
Yeah.
So going back to, no secrets in prison, everybody kind of talks. Everybody, knows everything that's going on for the most part.
So what do you guys do though? Do you like just turn a blind eye to it?
To what?
To a relationship going on with
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, like you might, like we would know, but you don't. You don't say anything. You just
Right.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen a lot. In my whole 7 years, there was only like one female CO who checked me out, and it was like it was early in my sentence on a 3-yard. And she I think she technically, I don't want to go into too much detail, but she kind of checked me out and like hinted to me. But I was so early in my sentence, I didn't want to get a new charge. I didn't want to like make a move and get like a major ticket and then end up in the hole or losing my visitation. So I just didn't even pursue it because it wasn't worth it to me. There's people in there who have like 20, 30 years.
So she like hit on you?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Why?
That's like backwards. It's
Yeah,
usually
no,
the inmates hitting on the guards.
Oh, right. No. She hit on me. Yeah. Like she didn't hit on me, but
That's
she
crazy.
kind of like, how do I put this without like going into too much detail? I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
She caught me, but like I had a phone. Okay. Just going to say it. I had a cell phone at 2 a.m. Having a cell phone in prison is like major, major trouble. You are not supposed to have a cell phone. I was on the phone and she did a walk and nobody called out one time, which in prison, this is on Steiner. There were runs. Whenever the cops would open the door, somebody would say one time, even at 2 a.m, because if they knew that you were on the phone, and she walked by my bed and, I was on the phone. She heard me and I just heard something I heard footsteps at the foot of my bed. I never told you this?
No.
Oh, I heard footsteps at the foot of my bed. So I pulled the blanket down and then she looked at me and gave me this weird look, but she knew.
Did you have was the phone in sight?
No, it was under the blanket. I was under the blanket with the blanket up over my head on the phone and talking, whispering. And she walked by and then I just heard foot. So I stopped and then I lowered the blanket and she was right there. And then she kind of gave me this funny look, it's really hard to explain. It was 2 a.m.
Wow.
It's dark. She kind of smiled at me and then she just kept going and then finished her run. And then as soon as she left the run or the bay, I gave the phone to somebody else, the homie, because he knew what happened, so it wouldn't obviously be in my cell.
Right.
And then it got passed around 2 or 3 more times, and the phone, was gone. But
nobody came to search
no,
you.
She never told anybody. And she didn't see the phone, but I was under my blanket whispering.
Right.
And and then I think she may have been able to see the light, the illumination from below the blanket. So I don't know if. Once again, I was early in my sentence. And in fact, it was probably the first and last time I ever had a cell phone in prison. It wasn't mine. I was just using it. I paid somebody to use it, but it was probably the first and last time because I was so scared.
Right.
Because back then, you would get another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
For a cell phone in prison. So after that, I was just it's not worth it. I'm cool. I don't need to do this. And I just never really used a cell phone again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was probably the first and last time, I think. And then every time I saw her after that, she always kind of gave me this look. Yeah. Huh. And then it's possible too, guys, I'm very aware that men naturally always think women are hitting on them.
Anytime that a woman's nice.
Yeah, you smile at
think,
somebody, you smile at a guy and the guy thinks that you're hitting on him.
Yeah.
And that's just the way men's brains are wired.
Yeah.
So I always knew that too. I'm maybe I'm just imagining this, maybe,
Yeah, because I was going to say it could have been she just didn't want the paperwork, a fight, anything. Because
Exactly.
I was super afraid of finding a cell phone.
Yeah.
Because I was told that if you find a cell phone, the inmate has to fight you.
Yeah, or prevent you from getting it. They
Yeah.
will fight you to prevent you from getting your hands on the phone.
And I didn't want to do that.
Right.
I just wanted to go in, do my shift, and get out.
Yeah.
So.
There's other guards. I saw a guard one time. There was a dude. He lived in 3 Baker on Whetstone with us, and he all the guards knew. This dude would just nod out at his bunk all day long. Everybody knew he was just getting lit 24/7. Mm-hmm. And one day he dropped black tar right in front of a guard.
Oh,
and
wow.
the guard just didn't want to deal with it. And the guard kind of walked off. We all knew. We were playing poker in the middle of the day room, so we all saw it, and we all knew that the guard saw it. But he kind of just walked off and hinted at one of the other white boys, "Yo, go get your white boy." and then the white boys beat that dude bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if the audience understands this because I talk still
I know it's hard
in code almost. So it's
right.
it's black tar is black tar heroin. We can say it one time in the video without getting in too much trouble. In prison, they're called papers, and it's just a little tiny piece. It's called a paper. Oh. So yeah, that's what it's. And it's a pressed piece of black tar, and they mix it with toothpaste, or not with toothpaste. They mix it with water in a toothpaste cap, and then lay on the bunk upside down and pour it down their nose.
Ew.
Yeah, and then they snort it, and it goes straight to their brain.
Oh my god.
Well, that's the easy way to do it. The other way, the more common way, is they slam it with a needle into their veins. It's called slamming. That's the more common way.
Yeah.
But he would be sitting there, and in prison, it's common to see dudes like this.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And they're on
Yeah.
heroin is what they're doing. They're just
Yep.
nodding out on heroin. I remember one night, like at 3 or 4 in the morning, I woke up and we were in a dorm, and there were 2 white boys dragging a white boy's body across the dorm, like towards the bathroom. So you've been to Whetstone, so you imagine, I was up by the doors towards the front of the building.
Yeah.
And I just woke up and I looked, and they were in the back, and they were dragging his body to the bathroom, and they put him in the shower. And I remember just like I was like, oh, bro, the white boys then killed somebody. So I went back to bed. But then the next day I found out that the dude who was getting dragged was my buddy. And he wasn't. They didn't kill him. He OD'd, and the white boys were dragging him to the shower to hit him with cold water. And he woke up. He was fine. Yeah, like 2 days later, he was back at the poker table with us.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and we all knew him. Like, he used to nod out at the poker table and stuff with us. And then like the next day, they were like, dude, that was, you know who? He OD'd like at 3 a.m, and then the other white boys dragged him to the shower to hit him with cold water. Yeah, but I remember thinking in my head, I was like, oh, bro, these white boys have killed somebody.
See, I learned about that from prison, like the nodding out thing. Mm-hmm. When I was in college, right before, it was actually the class, my English 102 class, or 101, I don't remember. The class that I learned about the job of, being a correctional officer. There was a girl, she sat next to me. Her desk was right next to me, and she would nod out all the time.
In class?
Yeah.
Dang.
And I had no idea what was wrong with her. I just thought, like, dang, she's really sleepy.
Yeah.
Like, you know me, I never around drugs or anything. So I was like, this girl needs to, like, get some rest. I mean, just naive brain. Yeah, come to find out after working in the prison, I was like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
She looked like a girl that would
When
do
I
that.
first went to prison, there was an OG who lived like 2 bunks over from me, and he used to nod out, and we would play dominoes and stuff with him all the time. Mm-hmm. And like we'd be at the domino table, and he'd have the dominoes in his hand, and we'd be betting money. You know what I mean? So like dominoes gets real heated in prison, especially like I'm a great domino player. Like I love dominoes. I'll sit there and play dominoes and spades all day long.
Yeah.
And I bet money on it because I love like. Well, you know me. Like I love poker. I love chess. I love spades. I love pinochle.
You and I both, we love competition.
Yeah, I'm extremely competitive.
Games.
I also like to bet. I also like to gamble. So with games like dominoes, where you can bet money on it, and we would be sitting there betting money, and dudes like, we'd be like, wake up, and then we'd slap the table. I don't want to slap it because the microphones pick up the sound.
Yeah.
But we'd slap the table and wake him up, and then he'd wake up and take his bone and bam, put his domino down, and then we just go around again. But he would nod out like in the middle of our it's a crazy thing to watch him. Like they'll be
crazy.
sitting here having a conversation, and then they're and then they wake up.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah, because it was like the girl in my class, it was like an evening class. It was like I think it started at 7, ended at 8 or something like that. It was late. So I just thought that she was like working really hard in the mornings. Was just tired.
Keep grinding, girl.
Because me, I worked 2 jobs, so I understood that.
It's a serious addiction. It's one of those addictions, especially nowadays with the other stuff that's mixed with it on the streets. That's got everybody, just ODing left and right. We have, between you and I think we know 6 or 7 people personally who are all gone now.
Yeah.
One of our old employees from our company who was very close to us, he's gone. We just found out about him last year. Yeah, that stuff. So anybody who's watching, stay as far away from that stuff as possible. I can't give too much advice because I never really had a substance abuse issue, but I've seen it in prison. I've seen it, out of prison. Like that stuff is from the devil. Yeah. All of it, man. Just drink water and go to the gym and this is iced tea. Normally we have coffee here, guys, but today it's hot. It's June in Arizona. In case anybody does not know. It's like 100 and something degrees. Arizona gets really 110, 115. It's a hot day. So we're drinking iced tea because it's hot and doing our podcast.
It's refreshing.
Did we get off topic again?
Way off topic.
Yeah, what are we supposed to be talking about? Inmates, COs, hooking up.
Oh, yeah.
The inmates all know about it. It's not a secret. What happens when they get caught?
So from our end, they get arrested.
The COs get arrested.
Yep.
Who arrests them? COs or cops?
The detectives. So not SSU. They're like the little detectives.
SSU's the little detectives?
Yes. There's a bigger. It's CIU.
Okay.
And they're the big detectives. They're
Central,
the ones.
What's CIU? I've never even heard of that.
CIU, yep.
So they only deal like
they just arrest COs is what they do, and they're
crazy.
literally cops that they can take you into custody.
Yeah,
and,
because most COs can't like arrest you and take you into
Right.
custody.
But they can. They work for the prisons, but they're
But
cops.
those ones do. The CIU guys can actually
Yep.
arrest a civilian and
Yep.
take a civilian to jail.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what would happen. CIU would pull up.
Yep, and it's known as being walked off the yard, and that's what would happen. They would come to the yard and arrest you.
Dang.
Put you in cuffs.
You would think they
in
would
front
just
of
get you when
everybody.
they pull you up in like your car.
They do sometimes.
Yeah.
There was a CO I used to work with. He's in prison now. He worked at Whetstone. He got moved yards. You know, the 3-year rotation thing that I talked about. He got moved to Cimarron, and he was working with another CO. I think it was a late night shift, if I'm not mistaken. He worked graveyards. So him and the other CO were told by other inmates that they were going to beat up another inmate. They needed them to open the door so that they could get in his cell.
Yeah, that's very common.
Yeah, they did it, and that inmate, I don't know if he died, but he was on life support for a while.
Yeah, that's common too.
And he even him and the other CO were allowing the other inmates to come and try to clean it up before they even called for help or rendered aid to the inmate.
Yeah.
So he was charged.
That's
that.
another whole topic too we can talk about. Obviously we're talking about COs and inmates hooking up right now, but we could talk about a lot of the times the COs will do work like with the inmates. Like you can go to the CO and be like, hey, this is happening today. I even have like when I was in Steiner, a 3-yard, it was like my first month or two of getting visitation. And I think I've told you this story where there was this dorky cop, a white boy. Yeah, and one day he came up. We were all in visitation. He was the visitation cop is who he was. And we were at visitation. It was my mom, my daughter. I think my brother was there too. And we were all just hanging out at the table. And he came up and started talking to us, which is it's not irregular. Like the cops look like, hey, how's it going, Bryant? How you doing today? But then they usually keep it moving.
Yeah.
Well, he stayed and just kept talking to me for like 10, 15 minutes. And
Not
then
a good look.
Well, no, I told him, I was like, bro, like I'm talking to my family. So I kind of told him to leave, right?
Yeah.
When I got back to the yard, there was a dude who was the head of a gang called the Mau Maus. They're a black gang. They're one of the few black prison gangs they have.
Uh-huh.
And he came up to me and he said, hey, that cop who was trying to talk to you, he's with us. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, he's with us. Like next time, like he's just talking to you, like he's just being friendly and shit. Like be cool with him.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, cool. So the next time I went to visitation, my mom brought me a pack of Newports, and I had asked the homie, I was like, so I can just bring this pack of Newports back to the yard? Because in visitation, your family's allowed to bring you cigarettes, at least in Arizona. And so on the yard, we smoke, rolled up paper cigarettes, like pipe tobacco.
Yep.
And this is early in my sentence when I still smoked cigarettes. I quit later on. Like I smoked cigarettes a long, long time ago. But so on the yard, you get rolled up pipe tobacco. But at visitation, your family can bring in whatever you want. Marlboro, Camels, And my mom would bring me a pack of Newports. And when I asked my buddy, I was like, so I can bring this back to the yard? They're like, yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. I was scared too. I was like, I'm going to just try it. I put the Newports in my pocket. And the visitation cop searched us on the way out. He saw my Newports, and boom, he just let me go back to the yard. But then I found out later on, he let like our race bring whatever.
Wow.
Like we could bring back anything. People could bring back anything they wanted. Me, I just brought back some Newports occasionally because Newports in prison are $1 a piece.
Wow.
So and that's a lot of money. $1 in prison is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you can sell a Newport for 2 soups.
Wow.
For each cigarette. And so if you can get a whole pack back, that's 40 soups.
Yep.
Yeah. But I usually, smoke a couple of them. 'Cause back then, thank God I don't smoke anymore. Thank God. Smoking is horrible.
Yeah.
But
it's gross.
Anyways, way off topic again. That was, COs and inmates working together. That happens a lot.
And okay, so where I was going with that, he showed up for shift. Cops were waiting for him right there as soon as he showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And they arrested him. And I saw the footage. It was on the news. So I saw the footage of when they arrested him. And just like other COs are just trying to get to shift. And they're just like standing by like, oh my gosh. Like they're just trying to like.
Well, they probably do it that way to like set an example.
Oh, for sure.
Like
For
show
sure.
you guys
this
this is what happens.
Yeah. it's a well-known thing amongst the COs. Like, you don't ever want to get walked off the yard. It's the most disgraceful thing. You know, it is. I could imagine it's humiliating.
Yeah, the walk of shame.
Yeah.
You got to walk past,
Yeah.
you know, everybody.
Yeah.
And the yards are big. A yard is big. Like, people,
Yep.
viewers and people who've never been to prison really have no idea what, like, how big a yard is and how many people are on it, and just get walked off there in cuffs.
Yep.
As a
The
CO,
inmates
because the inmates are laughing.
COs
They're dying.
watching.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're cracking up.
Yeah. I had a buddy. He was in the same class as me. He got walked off the yard. And so his incident was he found a guy on the phone, same as like the CO that found you. Well, they were in the bathroom. It was 2 inmates. They had a cell phone. He walked in the bathroom, saw the cell phone. One of the inmates was a young guy, and he started just bursting out in tears, crying, saying, "Please don't report it. You know, please, 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 whatever." And he told them to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, the other inmate that was in the bathroom was one of the snitches.
And told on the cop? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he lost his job, and they walked him off the yard and everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like he brought the cell phone in,
but
they pinned him.
Well, they
all
look
in
at
that.
well, because then the cops are going to look at it like, well, the cops probably are very like, you're one of us, or you're one of them.
Oh, for sure.
And that's like, there's no like gray area.
Yep.
But there's a lot of cops. Like, I remember there was that one CO. You were there when this happened. He had, this made the news. He had a company gas card. Oh. Do you remember that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was filling up.
Yeah.
He went on, like, you guys can Google this. It was in Tucson, Arizona. I would say it was right around 2013.
Beginning of 13.
Yeah, 13, and he got the prison gas card.
Yep.
For like driving the transportation buses, and he never took it. He never took the gas card back, and then he started filling up people's cars and stuff. And we knew him. He used to work like on the yard with us. He was like a laid back dude too. Like, he was like one of the cool COs that never messed with nobody.
Yeah.
And we remember he popped up on the news like 2 weeks later. He got arrested.
Yep.
For like stealing like some crazy amount of gas, like $10,000 in gas.
Yep.
Because he was filling up all of his buddies' cars.
It happened while I was in the academy, and it
Okay.
was like a huge thing. And then when I got to the yard, like, people were still very upset about it.
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, he was one of us. We thought
The
he was
COs?
our friend." Yeah.
He was a cool dude. I remember it. He was
I guess he was like real in with the cliques in the COs. Amongst the COs, they have their little cliques.
Really?
And he was like
Were they,
really
like, go
in
hang
with
out at
them.
the bars together and stuff?
Yep. Every weekend. Yeah, that's what they do.
They hang out at the CO bars, and do they hang out at the same bars like the cops hang out at and stuff?
No, they just hang out at any bars. And
I said, like, what if like a bunch of COs showed up to a cop bar, and a bunch of cops, a bunch of COs, and they just like throw it down?
you know what
I'm putting my money on the
happens?
cops.
I had a friend. She went out with the crew, the little clique of COs. And she told me that night when they were out, they ran into a group of ex-inmates that had just gotten out, and they all knew each other.
That's funny because, like in Tucson, it's a little town.
Yeah.
So like, everybody in Tucson is either a convict or a
Yep.
CO. So.
Yep. And she said that she was drunk, and she, the guy came up to her, and she just kind of started hitting on him.
Did she not realize he was?
She did not realize. And then she's like, it clicked in her head, like, oh, this guy looks kind of familiar. And then he told her who he was. He was like, do you not recognize me? And because the way she was like flirting with him.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God. She's like, I left. I went home. She's like, I'm never going out with him again. She was so embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's when a lot of the prisons, not a lot, most of the prisons are in small towns.
Yeah.
So
I used to run into inmates all the time, everywhere. Well, Tucson, it's small.
Yeah, in Tucson, whenever we go down to like Florence or Casa Grande or the small towns down there, you run into COs at the gas station.
Yep.
They're everywhere. It's
everywhere,
especially in those little tiny towns like that. So, but so when the COs get caught, they get arrested, and then they generally get prison time, right? What are we talking about?
So I knew of a CO. She got arrested and she got 2 years. I've heard, yes, prison.
Now, if it's a woman, do the women go to the like general population, or do they go to protective custody?
Yes, they cannot go to general population because they're a former
Even for the women?
officer. Correct.
Okay, so there is protective custody for women.
I heard it's on like the step down yards. I don't know if I'm accurate on that.
Yeah, the audience isn't going to know what step down means. Step down is where a step down yard is like if you're an affiliated member of like a gang, and then you decide you don't want to be in that gang anymore, you go to what they call a step down yard. And it's not PC, but it kind of is PC.
kind of.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not GP. That's for sure.
Right.
And in prison, anything that's not GP is no good.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that like it's GP, and then everything else, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not GP, you're either an SO, right, which is a sex offender.
Mm-hmm.
You're on a step down yard, which means like you're, the gang. If they were to get their hands, they would probably try to take you out.
Right.
And then there's PC, which is protective custody. So yeah, there's different levels. So the COs go to a step down or a protective custody.
Male and females, they
Male
have
and
to.
female.
It's a security.
Well, the male,
hazard.
I would imagine. Yeah. The men's obviously, like you can't put an ex-CO on the yard. Yeah, that's not ever gonna happen.
No. They have to go to protective custody of some sort. And they send out flyers to all the complexes. So anytime it happens in Arizona, they send out a mass flyer to every single complex. And in briefing, we have our little 15-minute briefing every day when we go into shift. In briefing, they pass it around, and it's like a flyer. It has their picture.
Like a mugshot?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, it's not their mugshot. It's their, I think I saw one time it was a mugshot, but it's usually their DOC picture that we have our, our uniforms on with the flag behind us and everything after we graduate.
Yeah.
And it's that picture. And then it just says real big, don't be this person. And then the little blurb about what they did, who they did it with.
And that goes around the entire state?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The whole state sees it?
Yep.
So, yeah.
And we discuss it during briefing. The sergeant and lieutenant will read it, and then they'll just pretty much like warn us again, like, don't do this.
Yeah.
And,
so if you get caught as a CO, you're pretty much going to prison.
Yep.
Fired, going to prison, etc. Yep. But if you get caught, let's talk about if you get caught as an inmate. Nothing. Really. Nothing.
No, technically nothing.
Yeah, nothing really happens. They can maybe get you like a major ticket for being out of place or...
Oh, they'll get you at whatever they can.
Yeah,
because
they'll try.
In their eyes, you turned one of them.
Yeah.
And they don't like that.
Yeah. Well, they can... Yeah, I don't know what they would get you with, though. Like, you're technically the victim.
The victim, exactly.
Yeah, like the men in prison, like, they're technically the victim is what... Somebody said that in the comment the other day. He said, did you get a victim pamphlet? He said that in the comment.
Oh,
he said that
gosh.
in the comment section. So, all right, we've talked about how it happens and, when it does happen, where does it happen? It's usually like bathrooms or any dark...
I was going to ask, where does it happen?
Bathrooms, dark offices, quiet places So anywhere they can. Every prison.
Yeah, because there's so many cameras everywhere. I couldn't like...
Every prison is set up slightly different, so it's so hard to say like it's in this prison it could be here, in this prison it could be there. It could be a different place.
Do you have do they have like lookouts or?
Yeah. Like
do they?
Yeah, if something was like that was happening, you'd have like a point man who would keep point for you. Yeah, for sure. You'd have somebody who knew and would keep point. And a point man in prison is just somebody who watches out and makes sure that no cops are going to pull up on you guys. And yeah.
Huh.
So
wow.
I want to see where we are in time, just because we're getting ready to shoot. We're at 42 minutes, Matt says. So we'll probably wrap it up there. Just wanted to let everybody know, though, we got new mics.
Yep.
Again, so this is our third set of mics. We got new lights. They're blue.
And pink.
And they match the logo. We're going to get a neon sign, I think, that says time served. We're gonna start doing some other interviews. I had an interview come out last week. It was kind of like slow, so it didn't get a lot of views. But I appreciate those of you guys who did watch it and did comment on it. It wasn't the most exciting interview. But we are thinking about doing some other big interviews. In fact, like, should I mention it? Or do you think somebody will steal my idea?
Don't mention it.
Don't mention it yet?
No.
Well,
it'll be a big surprise.
No, I don't know. I kind of want to gauge, like, the audience. So there's a bunch of celebrities and people who end up in prison. And a lot of the times when these celebrities end up in prison, their assets get seized. Their, family comes in and takes over. They end up just with a lot of debt and not a lot of cash. And being as we're very blessed and very fortunate because of our company, we've been talking about paying somebody to come on the show and be like a guest interview, like just for the audience and to help us, keep growing quick. And the couple names, like I was thinking about, interviewing, dude, there's a lot. Like there's that Christy and what's that guy's name? Her husband, like the husband and wife.
Who?
It's like they were like a really rich couple. Good Lord, I was going to pull it up on my phone, but I had like 18 text messages from mom. from Corey. I don't know. It's like this famous couple that went to prison for, something crazy. But Christy was the woman's name.
Was it those billionaires or something like that?
I don't know if they're billionaires or not.
The real rich people.
Yeah, they were really rich.
Yeah,
Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley, and just offer, like, say, hey, would you guys take, not them, but anybody, it could be anybody. It could be, Supreme, who was like a famous rapper from back in the day who's still in prison. He's not a rapper, sorry. He's a famous smuggler who was like involved with a bunch of rappers and stuff back in the day. Or I don't know who else is Joe Exotic, Tiger King. That'd be dope, right? Like offer one of these guys some money and be like, hey, who wants to come do an interview? Give the audience something super cool. I'm just trying to stand out from all the other channels. I want to be like the biggest, the best, the latest breaking news.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But I do want to try new stuff. I want to mess around, have a little fun, try some new stuff, see how it goes. We're going to keep improving the studio, keep improving audio, keep improving lighting. Get our little neon sign up there.
Yep.
What do you think of the setup?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like the pink light.
Yeah, the pink light's dope.
Your blue light's cool too, but the pink one's really cool.
If you were a Jedi, would that be your lightsaber?
Yes.
A pink lightsaber? There are no Jedis with pink lightsabers.
There are not yet.
Yeah. When
the saga continues.
Yeah,
so.
they're making a lot of new Star Wars stuff.
We are here for it.
Yeah, we are Star Wars nerds. We're just nerds in general. We're into like the nerdy stuff, Star Wars, and what's the other nerdy show we watch?
Big Bang Theory. Does
I
that
love
count?
Big Bang Theory.
I
Yeah,
love Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite TV shows. I used to watch. I remember the first time I watched that, I was in prison. It was like in 2010 when it first came out, I think. And my buddy Ty, not that Ty, a different Ty, he was watching it, and I didn't have a TV yet. I just started my sentence. I didn't have my own TV, and back then, if you didn't have your own TV, you could go and sit at your buddy's house, and we'd make these splitters. Because in prison, none of the TVs have speakers, so you have to plug headphones into them. But some people would jerry rig their headphones to be like really loud, so then it would be like a speaker.
Yeah.
Or we would make splitters.
Yeah.
And then our headphones, we could plug two sets of headphones into the same TV.
Yep.
And he asked me, he's like, "Hey, you want to come watch Big Bang Theory?" And I was like, "What is it?" And because me and him used to play chess together all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I went over and I started watching it. And that show, I had a huge crush on Penny. Penny was back in the day. Penny was smoking.
Back in the day,
Penny was, she was smoking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyways, way off topic again. Hope you guys liked the episode.
We have something else to announce.
Oh, what is it?
Our T-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. If you want one.
If you guys want a T-shirt, we figured out how to put T-shirts down in the bottom. Don't buy a T-shirt if you feel obligated to buy a T-shirt.
Don't do that.
We only put it at the bottom because
only if you want it.
Yeah, we put it at the bottom because a few people asked us to buy T-shirts. We're not expecting, if we sell one shirt this month, I'd be surprised. But we're gonna give some free shirts away. What kind of giveaway do you want to do? How do you want to do it?
I think I think we should at the end of every video do like an announcement and like a highlighted comment, like a shout out comment. And like screenshot the
But we don't have
comment.
one ready right now.
We don't yet.
What about for this video then?
We could name off some of our like top commenters that we can think off the top of our head.
Yeah, sure. Vegas Woman, Misty,
Turquoise Turtle.
Yeah, Turquoise Turtle.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, Daryl. I think his name's Daryl. A lot of these guys have been from the beginning, from like the Matt Cox interview. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could. If you guys want a free shirt and we just said your name, jump in the comment section. There's a bunch. There's so many people that comment regularly. There's a lady too. Oh, her photo's black and white. I can't remember the name. She comments a lot. How about the first person who says, "I'll take a free shirt."
Yeah, there we go.
Gets one.
Yeah.
And we'll send you out a free shirt if you guys want it.
Yeah, if you want it.
You don't have to. They're I don't wear shirts that have brands and logos and stuff on them, so that's not really my thing. But I guess for the podcast, I'll get one.
I do. I love putting logos and stuff on shirts.
Yeah, that's kind of your hobby.
Yeah. My little side business I do.
Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll give one away to the first person in the comments, and then we'll start doing like giveaways or something. If anybody wants free shirts, pretty dorky, but we're pretty dorky. A lot of our audience is changing. When it was just me, our audience was 90% men and 10% women. Now, take a guess what it is.
20% women?
35.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to the ladies.
Yeah, 35% women. So I imagine that out of all of the prison channels, we probably have like one of the highest percentage of female followers, probably just because you're here now. That's probably what it is.
Perhaps.
Yeah. But, well, I guess you have like the other female prison, like there's that other prison chick you watch. What's her name? Like the Mexican chick. She was on Matt Cox's podcast too.
Yeah, I just finished that podcast. Jen Gomez.
Yeah, so she probably obviously.
Yeah.
Then there's the other one too, the white girl, Jessica Kent. They both probably have a huge female following.
That's what they were talking about on Matthew Cox's interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like all the female channels, they have mainly female followers.
Yeah, so we get both. We get the men and the women.
You know what else is really cool that you were mentioning?
I forgot to say the percentage. What? Go ahead. Sorry. Oh. No, you're good. I just totally my brain. Go ahead. What was it?
That we also have a large number of COs who are our subscribers.
Yeah, well then, like you have the other channel, that Prison Guard, where I'm sure he has a ton of COs who follow his channel.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's him, and then there's another CO who has a channel too. And I watch because I study all of the other channels, and I'm trying to figure out how do we get better. You know what I mean? Because this is a hobby for us. It is monetized now, and our channel is making about $20 a day, which is pretty cool. It goes 100. Well, I'd say almost 100% of it is going to Matt right now. It's our first month. Our producer is going to take majority. The only thing we're going to use it for is maybe to pay our little subscriptions we have, like for YouTube Premium and I don't know, whatever else. But we are monetized, making like $20 a day. So this is obviously not going to replace our company that pays our bills. And then we do other stuff too. You own another business on the side, and I swing trade pretty regularly.
Yep.
But I just like spaced out where I was going.
Did you want to talk about the percentages?
Oh yeah. Duh. You said 20% women? No, it's now 34% women.
Cool.
Let me double check. Yeah, and that was last week. When I looked, I haven't looked in the last week or so, but let me go look. So we go to analytics, then I think we go to audience, and we go gender. It is 35% women and 64% males, and then 1% didn't identify as male or female. Hey, welcome to the channel. Don't care what you identify as. I just think it's cool that it's not all just dudes. Nobody wants to hang out with a bunch of dudes all the time.
Especially when you did 7 years in prison?
Yeah, with nothing but dudes. So it's nice to have ladies and stuff in there too. So mix it up.
Yeah.
What would be super cool is if we could get it to 50-50.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
equal
would
amount
be
of men,
so
equal
cool.
amount of women. That would be dope. That would be super dope if we could get half and half, like a perfectly balanced audience. You know, because we get people who've done time in prison. We get people who are like, recovering or they're in recovery. That's really cool. I love seeing the comments from the people who are in recovery. Like, you guys rock. Like, that is what it's all about.
Yep.
Yeah, staying clean, staying sober, making a better life for you and your family. But then mix it up with, the ladies. And I don't know, what do the ladies watch prison content? Is it just like the interest?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as ladies, we're not supposed to go to prison.
Taboo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just, I guess, intrigued by what is prison, what's there. It's like the unknown, I guess. I don't know.
That's probably what it is. And then there was a woman who said she did some time also in prison. Oh, she said that I'm pretty sure she said she hooked up with one of the male COs. It was like her fantasy, and she said like she did it while she was in there on another one of our videos. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
Quick story on that. It just hit my brain. So story time. Okay. So when we were in briefing one day, they passed around one of those flyers that said, "Don't be this person."
Yeah.
It was a male CO who worked at the women's prison, and he was doing the work crews, the outside work crews.
Yeah.
So he'd take the van and a bunch of...
For reference, the work crews are women who go out of the prison to go like clean the highways?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. And he'd take the van with about, I don't know, maybe 6 female inmates or whatever, and go supervise them while they worked. And
supervise?
yeah, the flyer said
6
that,
chicks?
That's my guess.
No, that's what he was like taking to work, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that if I recall correctly, I think it gave a number of how many female, inmates he was taking out a day.
Right.
He was hooking up with 4 of them.
No way.
Yeah.
Yikes.
While they were out on their work crew.
It's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. You know what I mean? Like at that point, it's so
Did
easy.
you say nice?
No, I did not say nice. I'm not. So let me finish this video and say we do not encourage in any way, shape, or form inmates and COs hooking up. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
it puts people's lives at risk. It puts people's careers at risk. It's dangerous.
It puts your own freedom at risk.
It puts your freedom at risk. It puts your financial security at risk. It's not smart. It's dumb. We met after I got out of prison, and she was not a CO anymore.
I hadn't been.
Yeah, she had already quit, and we weren't planning on like, hey, when I get out, we're gonna. That was not the case. It was I got out. She was not a CO anymore. We ran into each other. We started talking. We started dating, and then we got married. It doesn't always work that way. A lot of the times, these men have anger issues.
Yep.
And they get out, and then they beat the hell out of somebody.
And then they go right back in.
And they go back to prison. It's not, and not all men. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not going to talk about, I'm not trying to generalize ex-offenders, because some of my best friends are guys I've done time with who are like just like the most laid back, down to earth, mellow
family life.
Yeah, have families and stuff, and they're doing great. But some of them, not my friends, but some people in prison have anger issues, and not just for the men, but for the female inmates. If you're a male corrections officer, bro, first of all chicks are crazy. I said it.
Oh, you said it.
All chicks are crazy.
We are not.
All chicks.
I disagree.
Yeah, like all chicks have a little. Remember, like the Crazy Hot Matrix when he says like he's like they all start at a 4 crazy because there's no such thing as a chick that's below a 4 crazy. Like they all have a little crazy. But then you got the ones in prison too. That just adds another 2 or 3 points of craziness. So like guys working in female prisons, bro, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your freedom. It's not worth the risk. There's women not in prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the women in prison are probably just like thirsty because it's just like the men.
Oh yeah, it's a game to them, honestly. From what I've
like
heard.
cat and mouse. They're trying to,
yeah.
How long is it gonna take to get Woody?
Making bets
on how fast they can break Woody. Poor guy, little nerdy guy, had no idea what was happening.
No idea.
And then the other ones just go in there like probably, trying, like the dude who was driving the bus or the work crews and stuff. Like he's probably at the bar with his buddies, and I got 4 of them today. High-fiving and stuff. Jeez. Not encouraging it, not trying to glamorize it at all, guys. We're being lighthearted and just joking about it because it's just a conversation.
Are gonna come for you in the
The
comments.
ladies are gonna talk big trash in the comments.
Because we are not all crazy.
All right, so this is what we do, ladies. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your craziness level.
Ooh, that's a fun one. Yeah.
Don't go below a 4. That's you can't go below a 4. So.
Okay, I'm about a 5.
Yeah, that's fair. You're pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the Mexican chicks, like you're not like most Mexican girls. See, like the Mexican chicks like to throw stuff. They'll throw a chancla. You know what I mean? Throw a pot, just fly a pot. You don't throw stuff. I don't. Yeah, that's good.
No, I don't. Honestly, I get like more proper when I'm mad.
Yeah. Well, excuse me, sir.
As I previously stated.
Yeah. We got to wrap this up. Matt says we're at an hour now, guys.
Oh, okay.
So, and we have to shoot. We're doing a batch shoot today. So we're getting some other videos in. Jump in the comments, you guys, and let us know. Whoever says they want a shirt first, maybe we'll give out some more shirts. I don't know.
Rate your crazy, ladies.
Oh, yeah. Email us at RAM.
Oh, yeah.
holdingsgroup@gmail.com. That's RAM. Holdings, HOLDINGS. Group, GROUP @gmail.com. If we said your name, did we say anybody's name? Mm-hmm. We said Vegas woman. You say Misty?
Misty.
Yeah, Misty.
Turquoise Turtle and
Daryl.
Dustin? Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl. There's other people too. I just can't remember all their names right now.
I know.
If you guys want a shirt, feel free to shoot us an email. Just, we'll send you guys out a shirt. And we will see you. Oh, yeah, you forgot the thing.
Like and subscribe and turn the little notification bell on.
Yeah. Ding.
Ding.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Okay. All right, Matt. All right. It was longer than we thought. How long?